Beginning audio transmission. Hello, I am Dr. Cool, O5 Council member, as well as Supreme Commander of Mobile Task Force Alpha 1, also known as the Red Right Hand. Hello everyone. Now, today's audio file reading will include a very narrative SCP, and is indeed one of our more descriptive Euclid classes. Therefore, I will not be reading this file for today per se. Our automated computer system that writes stories for this SCP shall narrate it. All voices that you hear in the audio file have been created by this SCP. So, let us take a look at this SCP and I shall see you all at the end of the video.
You didn't know who's more bored right now, you or the kid in front of you. On the one hand, you don't want to be here. On the other hand, she doesn't really want to be tutored either, and she's not getting paid for it. But she's being way more annoying about it. You start again. Item number. You ask, hoping she gets it right this time. She looks up at the ceiling, as if the answer is up there, then down at her notes.
SCP-1893,
she says, after half a minute pause. Good enough? Object class? You continue, hoping that she has written that down somewhere too.
Euclid. Object class, Euclid.
She responds, again, good enough. You get paid whether she passes the damn class or not. Special containment procedures? You didn't figure she'd have a chance at this one. But she surprised you.
All stories containing or referencing SCP-1893 are to be contained in the tertiary mainframe at Site-38 until such time as Foundation researchers discover a method of transferring them without risking contamination to other computer systems. Multiple redundant stories are to be kept on the mainframe at all times. Should SCP-1893 begin displaying aggressive or otherwise unusual behavior, additional new stories written in the style used by SCP-1893 are to be downloaded onto the computer. Hard copies of all stories before and after SCP-1893 infestation are to be kept in the director's office in a triple lock safe. No other copies are to be kept in any other location in any other form to avoid possible contamination. To whatever extent possible, discussion of SCP-1893 is to be restricted to non-electronic means, and references to item number SCP-1893 are to be prohibited on any Foundation server or computer other than the one mentioned above.
By God, she might have a chance after all. Let's see if she could keep the streak running. Description? She was off to a good start at first.
SCP-1893 is an incompletely understood phenomenon, believed to be electronic or digital in nature. The phenomenon has demonstrated at least a primitive sort of intelligence in the form of adapting to new environments and avoiding inhospitable ones, and a rudimentary ability to communicate with Foundation researchers, albeit indirectly. It is not known whether the entity is sapient or even, sensational?
Sentient, you say, but it's too late. She's lost. A knock at the door distracts her completely. Her baseball coach was there. Calls her into the hall for a minute. You hear him yelling at her about something, probably baseball related and thus virtually incomprehensible. Sounds like he's tapping or ramming from how loud it is his bat against the wall again. It's what he does whenever he's mad. Old Bull, they call him. Half from his size, half because of the tattoos. Your 2D comes back into the room and sits down and sulks. You wait for her to calm down a bit, then prompt her to continue from where she left off.
SCP-1893's principal trait is its mimetic quality. It is impossible to perceive, interact with, or discuss the entity except through fictional narratives. Specifically, any electronic message referring to SCP-1893 will be altered by the entity into a prose passage of variable length, tone, or content. However, messages altered by SCP-1893 will always have certain constant qualities.
You could tell she was struggling, so you help her out. First, the content of the original message will be
left intact, replacing any dialogue between characters in the story.
She continues.
Second, stories will often contain between 2 to 3 characters. While the dialogue between them will remain constant, the setting and tone of the characters and their surroundings are believed to often reflect SCP-1893's mood at the time of access. Third, components of the story's plot may be changed depending on whether or not SCP-1893 can determine the identity of the reader, though researchers have been unable to detect a pattern in the modifications to date.
And finally, all instances of stories altered by SCP-1893
will contain an unknown character, described as being unusually tall and muscular, often said to have tattoos of bull's horns on or near the face. The extent to which this character interacts with the others is often indicative of SCP-1893's level of aggression at the moment. When the entity is calm, the character will barely be referenced or discussed. When SCP-1893 feels threatened or is prepared to attack, the character will display an increasingly important or central role to the story's plot.
She finished. Just one more section left anyway, then you'd both be able to leave. Addendum 1893-A. You prompt. She seems distracted, but you prod her into carrying out the rest of it.
Though no effort undertaken to date has succeeded in fully containing SCP-1893, all evidence suggests that the Foundation's decision to classify the entity as such has caused it to adopt this as its name and react specifically to any mention of that item number in electronic media.
Tapping. No. More like pounding. Aluminum against concrete. Coming down the hall. He's coming back. You finish for her. Assuming this to be true, a theoretical plan has been devised in the event that termination of SCP-1893 should become necessary. According to this plan, Foundation personnel would first... The pounding was right outside the door when the lights went out. You both scream as long as you can.
And there we have it, our audio file for today. Now, this is not the only story. In fact, this is story E out of some of the files that we already have. The files keep changing. So, if you click the audio log for yourself and the file may be different, then that is of course the case. However, each of these stories help contain this SCP, and therefore I have no problems with it. But that is all the time that I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to support the Foundation or our channel, then please click that like button, leave a subscription if you would like by clicking the subscribe button as well as that bell button, and leaving a comment. Every little bit helps here in the Foundation. If you want to go the extra mile, then support our Patreon page. All donations are well rewarded by the SCP Foundation. But that is all the time that I have for today. Thank you for your patience and for tuning in and watching. This is Dr. Cool, 05 Command, signing out.
End of file debriefing.